Alright, I'm in the mood to play some more. Muffin!
Yay, video games are fun! Woo! Yeah, I killed like 5 million people in less than an hour.
What are you doing?
I'm playing this weird game called Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It's really fun, and I just shot like 5 billion people, and now I think I'm gonna go over to do a mission where you have to collect some weird sugar.
You're not allowed to be playing that. Your parents are gonna kill me if they see you playing that. I'm the one who's gonna be to blame, so look, stop playing that game.
But I want to play the video game!
Look, I'm trying to be responsible. You're not allowed to play that.
I'm special. I should have the power to play the game.
I will give you anything you want if you would just stop playing that game.
Well, in that case, I want pizza.
Pizza? It's like 10:30 in the morning. A little early for pizza, don't you think?
But I want pizza! And no mushrooms!
Why do you have to be so cute? She wants the pizza, she wants the pizza, she wants the pizza. Okay, I'll get you the pizza. Alright. Let's see. No mushrooms. Alright. A lovely pepperoni pizza just for you. Enjoy.
I want coffee!
Whoa, okay. We're going a little far there, okay?
I see my parents drinking all the time and they never let me. So I want to try it. Can I please try it?
It's not alcohol, so not so harmless. Alright, well. Muffins go great with coffee, so why not? Just be careful, it's a little hot. I don't want you to burn your tongue. So, what do you think? Does it need more sugar? More cream? I hope it doesn't. Hello? Stripe? Yeah, I've seen your daughter. She decided to take a trip to space. Yeah, I'd be willing to pay for a rocket. Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis Media once again. Welcome back to another Top 10. I was honestly quite proud with how my video on the Top 10 Best Bluey Characters turned out to be, and I knew eventually I had to do one on my favorite Bluey episodes in the near future. But for now, I want to do a list dedicated to one specific Bluey character, that being, of course, Muffin Cupcake Heeler. I put her at number 6 on my best Bluey characters list, and I mentioned I kind of wanted to put her higher. I mean, I wanted to talk about her more just due to the fact that most people don't really understand her character. Despite being a beloved icon in the Bluey community, she's more than just another crazy toddler, but one that's actually done in a way that is less annoying than most people would actually think. So, in honor of her, here are my picks for my top 10 favorite Muffin episodes. Now, there aren't a whole lot of episodes focused on Muffin, but whenever she appears, she usually is a show stealer for me. So to expand this list to 10, I decided to include episodes where Muffin isn't really the main focus, but does play a big part at least. I'll also be going in depth in some of these episodes of why Muffin is so entertaining and delightful in them. Oh, and because I'll be going in depth, there are going to be major spoilers in all these entries, so I'm just going to tell you right now. So, grab yourself some coconut water, maybe some jelly beans, wipe your feet before getting in the car, grab a tutu, remember to share your tablet with your siblings while watching this video, and let's begin. Number 10. Bike. Like I mentioned before, not all these episodes are necessarily about Muffin, but Muffin does have some big parts to them, just like this episode where Bluey is struggling on trying to ride her bike for the very first time, as she tends to give up, until she sees other kids face problems as well. As Bingo is struggling to drink water from the water fountain due to her height, Bentley is trying to climb on the monkey bars, and of course the funniest one of all, Muffin is struggling to put her backpack on. It's already funny yet adorable how Muffin talks about what she's doing for some unneeded exposition, and then she's having a hard time getting the other strap of her backpack on her back. Then she ends up spinning like crazy, then she gets mad and stomps on her backpack. That's basically Muffin chaos for you. But of course, she says her most iconic line in the episode,
"This is unacceptable!"
Usually when I hear this phrase, I usually think of Lemon Grab from Adventure Time, except Muffin's voice isn't as ear-bleeding as his, but of course, by the end, she manages to find a way later on and victoriously wags her tail. Just like the other kids in the episode, she shows despite getting frustrated, she's not willing to give up. She's willing to try and try again, that she's not the type of kid who sighs in defeat, but willing to get back up into getting past frustrating situations. That's why the episode itself is such a delight. It shows that people shouldn't give up. If you keep trying, you can succeed, which anybody of any age can relate to. I remember when I gave up playing Cuphead, but 6 years later I managed to beat the whole thing, including the DLC. Same with the Soulsborne games. Except Sekiro, I'm still working on that, but still, this is a great episode, and Muffin herself truly is a show stealer. Number 9. Bumpy and the Wise Old Wolfhound. This is another episode where Muffin may play a small part, but she's practically the show stealer with her appearance. I had to include this one as in this episode, Bingo is told she has to stay in the hospital for one more night. And many people have theorized why exactly she's in the hospital. Like, could she be dying? Well, if she was, she wouldn't have made it to season 2 or 3. Nor would this frame be a real frame from the show. But either way, Bluey makes a video for her with her friends and family to cheer her up, as she gets Bandit, Stripe, Trixie, Socks, Lucky, Mackenzie, and of course, Muffin to join in. What makes Muffin so great in this episode is how she's supposed to be playing a chef, but she keeps breaking character by calling Bluey by her name instead of her character name, Barnacus. Even Bingo mentions it, and it makes it even funnier when she keeps forgetting her lines, but the one scene that makes her moment truly unforgettable is when they use Chili's vase as a prop, and Muffin accidentally breaks it, causing Chili to get upset. We may feel bad for Chili, but not enough to just laugh at how Muffin caused it to break. Easily the best part, in my opinion, is when it gets to Muffin's bloopers, as she keeps screwing her lines up, and she ends it with this particular line.
"I had rabies."
Because she's such a chaotic ball of energy, it's something that I think we can all believe. Really though, it shows how Muffin is still very young and isn't really too good at understanding how things work. And she's slowly having to learn specific things throughout the show, like how acting works. Also, Muffin looks so cute in a chef's hat. I love how they made a toy of her in the chef's hat, or with the chef's hat. The episode itself is all around such an endearing episode of how sickness is something all people have to go through in life, and it shows that it's just how it works. Everybody's gonna get sick once in a while. It's something that is gonna happen to us at least more than once in our lives. It's such a sweet and all-around hilarious episode with so many moments that are intentionally hilarious. Not just Muffin, but even Bandit gets a good laugh. And even Socks, which is even more hilarious given how she's Muffin's sister. Bingo is delighted by the episode in the end, and us as the viewers would certainly have to join in on that. Number 8. Charades. Now we're starting to get more into the episodes where Muffin plays a much bigger part. Charades is often an episode some viewers like to hate on due to how Muffin gets. Personally, however, I feel like her actions are quite normal in this. It may sound odd, but like I mentioned in my last entry, Muffin doesn't understand certain things, and in this episode, she never played charades before, nor has Socks. This episode is where Nana is having to watch Bluey, Bingo, Muffin, and Socks at her house, and they decide to play a game of charades, but Muffin and Socks don't understand the rules. And when Bingo acts out as a ballerina, during Muffin's turn, she wants to be one too. This is the part most viewers got annoyed by and just assume she's a brat. But there actually is a theory surrounding this episode I think makes a lot of sense. Because in the beginning of the episode, we see the girls eating ice blocks, and Muffin is holding Socks' ice block because she can't use her front paws as hands yet, showing she cares for her younger sibling. And throughout the episode, Nana asks Socks if she knew what the kids were acting out throughout the game, but she doesn't know. Well, either that, or she just can't speak yet. Muffin actually notices this, so when Muffin wants to become a ballerina, it may actually help Socks understand more, and finally being able to answer, helping Socks find her voice.
Ballerina! Yes!
It's actually a theory I think makes quite a bit of sense. I definitely find it more believable than the theories about Bingo is actually Brandy's kid, or Bandit and Chili are cheating on each other with their neighbors. Seriously, no way would LUDO go that far. Now look, I get why people would get annoyed. She raises her voice, she may be sounding spoiled, but again, she's the type of child parents can relate to. She's the representation of a child that is done right. Besides, I find her actions to be hilarious, and how she's demanding for all the stuff she needs to be a ballerina, and again, she doesn't understand the game. Besides, if she was playing the game by the rules, it probably wouldn't be as interesting. Also, it has a very touching scene where Nana gets a music box given to her by her own Nana, which I find beautiful knowing about the family members she had before having her sons with Bob, and how she mentioned she was the nicest Nana they'd ever want to meet. Which truly shows why Nana herself has such a kind spirit to her, and it made me care less about Muffin's actions. Besides, she wasn't doing any major harm. Plus, it's like I mentioned in my best Bluey characters list. The kid voice actors truly show they love playing these characters. And that's what gives them so much charm. It truly fits Muffin's personality perfectly. And once we see Muffin do her ballet, it's by far one of her cutest moments. Like seriously, this is in my opinion a reason why it's impossible for me to stay mad at Muffin. It might not be a lot of people's favorite episode, but I'll gladly watch it again. It's chaotic, funny, and has a deep moment. I truly can't bring myself to hate it. Number 7. Pizza Girls. In this episode, Bluey and Bingo pretend to be pizza delivery girls by using mud pizzas and delivering the pizzas with Bluey's pedal car, which she calls Pedly. But it keeps breaking, and when Bingo helps Bluey fix the car, the madness officially begins when Muffin wrecks it with her electric toy car.
Is my car squashed?
Muffin is probably the type of girl you do not want to steal your car. Just be thankful her feet probably won't be able to reach the pedals for at least 8 more years. So of course, because Muffin's car is much more powerful, they decide to use her car instead. What's so funny about this episode is how Stripe buys a new car which he can not stop talking about. And it came with a kitty car from Muffin. I find it so funny how, in the episode, both Stripe and his daughter are focused on their cars. It shows they truly are related. Muffin also has some very funny lines too. I also love how Socks is casually playing in the mud while the other 3 are in Muffin's car, but of course, when Muffin starts driving, oh man, she is truly the type of girl that could probably beat anybody in a race, showing she can be just as chaotic in a car as she can be on foot. But of course, once the car is out of battery, they go back to using the pedal car, and this allows Bluey to rediscover stories of the old car as she invents new stories with Muffin as the mechanic. Also, as Stripe talks about his new car, Trixie mentions how she misses the old one because it was the one where they took Muffin and Socks home from the hospital after they were born, showing that it was special to them, just like how Bluey's pedal car was special as she had it since she was 2 and had so many fond memories of it. It truly shows how we have so much fun with the old things we had, and replacing them just doesn't always feel the same, which I think can certainly be relatable for some. It may not be an episode many people talk about a whole lot, but the fun energy of Muffin driving her car and the joys of going back to the old ways is truly what makes it a sweet yet funny episode. It truly shows how much of an energetic little pup Muffin is, even when driving. Honestly, if she was my Uber driver, I would totally give her a 5-star rating, even though she would probably destroy everything in town during the trip. Number 6. Library. I mentioned multiple times in this video how Muffin isn't very good at understanding things, and this is truly the definition of how she can take things a little too literally. As Stripe takes Muffin to play with Bluey and Bingo at their house, Stripe tells Muffin that she's the most special kid in the world, and of course, Muffin thought he meant that literally. So because of that, she refuses to do what anyone tells her to. It's already hilarious how Muffin tracks mud in the house without wiping her feet on the mat. You hear that, Bingo? Unless you're special, you need to wipe your feet before entering. Anyways, Bluey and Bingo want to play libraries, but Muffin has to follow their rules, but because she believes to be the most special kid in the world, she decides to make her own rules, like making noises with her Cat Squad bag and borrowing books without returning them. Now yeah, you may say Muffin is nothing but a complete brat in this episode, but she's not really to blame. Mainly it's just due to how Stripe gave her the wrong idea. But really the thing I love the most about this episode is how Stripe tells Muffin that she actually isn't the most special kid in the world. But he explains that she is to Stripe and Trixie. Now, most toddlers, when hearing this, would probably get upset. They might end up probably feeling sad. They might even end up crying. And because of how chaotic Muffin gets, you would assume she'd probably get upset herself. She doesn't. She fully understands. She accepts the fact she isn't the most special kid in the world. She stops what she was doing and then gives her dad a hug and goes over to Bluey and Bingo with her tail wagging and says,
I'm not special anymore. Hooray!
Hello? Yeah? Wait, what? What? I'm not special? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm not special? This is amazing! Oh my god. I am so happy. I'm not special. Oh my god. Thank you for telling me I love you so. Oh man, this is the happiest day ever! I'm not special! I'm not special! I'm not! I gotta tell the world I'm not special! Oh my god! Guess what, world? I'm not special! Now where was I? That shows Muffin is more than just another Caillou who literally cried over waiting another day to go to the circus, or George Pig who pretty much cries every 30 seconds from everything. Muffin is literally the definition of how you do a toddler who may be chaotic, may seem spoiled at times, but shows she has a good heart that can understand things from time to time. And once in a while it shows she does have a love for her family. I also love how Stripe tries to do better at parenting. He certainly isn't perfect, but tries to be. The episode itself is great on showing how you may not be special to everyone, but the love you receive from your parents is more than enough, showing that you're special to them. And by the end of the episode, Muffin plays fairly with her cousins. Muffin is truly at one of her most funny and most sympathetic moments in the episode. That shows just because she's wild and often gets carried away with her actions, she can still be understanding. I just love when things turn out the way they should in the show. I truly feel Muffin at this point truly shows she's an icon. Number 5. Muffin Unboxing. While this is technically a mini-sode, it doesn't make it any less of an episode in my eyes. Besides, there's more than enough Muffin mayhem in this for me to include it on here. This is basically like a parody of toy unboxing videos that were very big on YouTube and still pretty much are, as Muffin has her own internet series online as she does toy unboxings, but of course, because this is Muffin we're talking about, things are probably gonna go a bit mad, and they do. This is by far my favorite of the minisodes, as not only is Muffin outrageously adorable as always, but truly shows how she's the type of toddler who certainly isn't good at understanding things properly. Now in the video, she has to unbox a dump truck toy. We already know just by the fact that the video gets interrupted when Muffin has to use the bathroom, but it gets to the good stuff when Muffin mentions how she wants Cat Squad Kitty Island instead, whatever that is. But when she decides to just try out the dump truck, the hilarity truly cranks up, where Muffin struggles to take it out of the package and finding out the batteries aren't in it, so of course Stripe has to put them in. There's even a moment when Stripe checks to see if Muffin accidentally broke it, but she didn't, and Stripe literally almost blurts out an F-bomb. No joke.
Oh, thanks.
Seriously, why else would it have cut like that? It truly shows how the show isn't only targeting children. Of course, by far the greatest moment in this whole episode, in my opinion, is of course when Muffin tries to put rocks in it, but instead of Stripe giving her rocks, he gives her jelly beans. And take a wild guess on what she does when she sees them. Then of course it ends with Muffin talking about how much she hates the truck, and when Socks asks if she could have it, Muffin says she still wants it. Look, I said she mostly shows she cares for her sister. Not always, but still, this is relatable for siblings. This was the mini-isode I was certainly the most excited for when they were announced, and it did not disappoint. I honestly want to see Muffin's full toy review series. We live in an area where the internet is all about clickbait and drama and controversial talk, depressing truths. It just isn't what it was back then, but that's why Bluey exists, so we can escape from it. Muffin truly did nothing except put a smile on my face throughout the less than 2-minute runtime, and I would have loved for it to go on longer. But still, this episode alone is why I'll never get enough of her. Number 4. Muffin Cone. Just because Muffin's behavior is pretty much normal for her age doesn't mean she can't be punished. In this episode, Muffin enjoys sucking her thumb a lot, but Trixie gets frustrated because it's not good for her. Because Muffin can't stop sucking her thumb, Trixie has no choice but to put a cone around her neck. Or, wait, does Muffin have a neck? Oh well, because of this, Muffin can't play any of the games Bluey and Bingo are playing. Even when Trixie decides to take the cone off, she still continues to suck her thumb, so apparently it's impossible for Muffin to keep it off. It truly shows how responsible parents have to be in showing their kids discipline once in a while. And while I won't lie, I do find it rather sad how Muffin feels like she can't do anything with the cone on. It turns out the cone can flip inside out, where she actually does have the ability to play other things, like pretend to be a wedding bride, a traffic cone, a ballerina, again, or even a sunflower, which Sunflower Muffin is just too precious. But what makes this episode better is how Trixie herself isn't good at controlling her actions either, as she's trying to eat healthy, but Chili brings out a bag of chips for them, and when Chili leaves Trixie alone for a minute with the chips, she eats the whole thing, showing she's just as bad at controlling herself as Muffin is. Not only is this a relatable moment for people who are trying to eat healthy, but also shows just how Muffin is like her mother, just like how she's like her father. But it's a great episode to show how sometimes kids will just be kids and aren't always good at controlling themselves. What makes it even better is by the end, when Muffin comes over again, she purposely gets herself back in the cone. It's just a fun episode and truly shows how Muffin does get disciplined once in a while, and even when she does, there's a way for her to not feel so bad about it. It's truly an episode parents themselves can relate to when it comes to raising someone like Muffin. I just can't help but love it. Number 3. Facey Talk. Bluey does such a great job at finding ways to be creative with their episodes, and Facey Talk is certainly one of those episodes. Bluey and Bingo video call Muffin and Socks through their tablet, and Muffin is having fun playing on it, but won't let Socks have a turn. I honestly feel like she would if she wasn't trying to draw a cowboy hat.
Cowboy hat!
Because Muffin... Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing here? Give me a minute. Now, where was I? I know you can't see that very well, but... yeah, that's better.
Cowboy hat!
Because Muffin is still so young, she hasn't really understood the importance of sharing yet. Bluey and Bingo certainly have learned this in the past, but Muffin is still younger than both of them. Because of this, Stripe puts her in timeout. Truly, the fact Muffin is just so focused on drawing her cowboy hat is enough for me to know this is going to be a truly wild episode. And it is, as Muffin steals Stripe's phone and joins the call as Stripe chases her. And what makes this funnier is when they play a covered version of Carmen Overture during the chase. And as Stripe chases her, he keeps slipping, but what makes it even more funny is the filters that appear when Stripe chases her. It's just too much that you'll probably die of laughter. But then the episode changes when Trixie appears in a way that made Disney have to censor a scene, despite the fact all the characters in Bluey are naked. Seriously, why do they even have all this laundry? Then it focuses on how Stripe and Trixie get into an argument about how Stripe is trying to be more of a parent to Muffin, as he feels Trixie is the one doing most of the work. It starts from being a fight, then they come into an agreement, and they make up and decide to work as a team when they try to go after Muffin. It goes from being unhinged to touching, which Bluey knows how to balance out perfectly. Of course, it ends with Muffin dropping his phone in the pool, and of course she had to be punished. It truly shows kids that it's not good to hog things from others. And for parents, it shows you and your partner are a team at raising your kid. And sometimes it's important to take care of your child together. It combines two messages in one episode, and Muffin may steal the show with her antics, but it's certainly great when it focuses on the parents towards the end. It's truly one of her most iconic moments, and one of her most iconic episodes. Also, Socks is so cute how she's just playing with the tablet while Muffin is being chased. Like, she doesn't care at all. She's still having fun. Number 2. The Sleepover. I almost put this at number 1 just due to how much of an icon she is in this episode, but since we're looking at the episodes rather than the moments, I'm putting it at number 2, though if we were looking at the moments, this would definitely be at number 1. In this extremely wild and completely unhinged episode, Bluey and Bingo are excited because Muffin is sleeping over, which means they get to stay up late. Only one problem. Muffin skipped asleep, causing her to go mad, saying some of her most iconic lines ever.
Coconuts have water in them.
This episode is pretty much everything viewers come to love when it comes to Muffin's antics, and shows why she's the type of kid any parent can relate to when it comes to raising a kid like her. Because Muffin skipped asleep, they have to go to bed early now, so they try to find ways to expand their games so they can stay up longer. This episode basically shows why it's just better for Muffin to go to sleep, because then they'll just end up causing a ruckus when staying up. And why it's certainly important for a child to get a good amount of sleep, even though it certainly is better for Muffin to sleep because her actions are gold. I honestly wouldn't have minded if she didn't. And next time I see coconuts, I'll think of Muffin. Next time I see a flamingo, I'll think of Muffin. It's by far Muffin's most iconic moment, but as for her best episode, which most fans could probably guess what it is, we're gonna get into that right after these honorable mentions, of course. Because I don't have too many, I'll be including bonus bits for this. Humpty Dumpty. Muffin might not be crazy in this, but man, she is too cute in it. How she's trying her best to sing, but keeps messing up the words.
All the kids are missing, all the kings and the horses.
Literally any toddler can relate to this. Muffin's adorable voice is why this will always be a fun bit to watch. Honk. Socks is certainly the main focus, as she has fun pressing on Stripe's nose as it makes a weird honking sound. When Muffin comes to try it, it only works for Socks. So she tries pressing it harder in the end. For some reason, the ending was cut out in LUDO's version. I don't get why, because it isn't really harmful or something parents would be concerned over. I guess they thought the cut would make it funnier. Either way, it's a very cute bit. Horsey Ride. This definitely deserves a mention because of how Muffin reacts when it comes to Bandit and Stripe's, wedding. Of course, she's adorable as always, but the humor comes when Muffin mentions that horsies can't talk.
I said horses can't talk.
They also can't poop, apparently. Seriously, this is okay in the live-action Pinocchio, but this is not? At least this is normal, while... Man, why is Disney not making sense anymore? Barbecue. I certainly gotta mention Muffin and Sock's first appearance. All Bingo wants to do is rest, but Muffin can't go without her salads. Well, at least Muffin will eat her vegetables.
Christmas swim!
Everybody has something to do in this, as Muffin pretends she's running late for work, basically copying what most grown-ups do when they're late. It's just priceless. Ice cream. She's only in the beginning of the episode, but man, I wish she was in the whole thing. From getting a dinosaur stuck on her head, to refusing to share her ice cream, to eating it in one bite, she makes this episode for me. Pass the parcel. She makes a very small appearance in this, but she has a reaction that basically defies her character, and it's just priceless. And my pick for the number 1 best Muffin episode, Granny Mobile. This has become a fan favorite for many due to how crazy it is. When they were doing a fan ranking for all the Bluey episodes for Bluey's 5th anniversary, Granny Mobile landed at number 3, beating out episodes like Sleepy Time. While I personally prefer when Bluey gets more meaningful and tear-jerking with its episodes, there is no denying how great the humorous side is, especially when Muffin is involved. This episode greatly shows why Muffin is all around a character I don't think the show could live without, as in this episode, Bluey's neighbor Doreen is having a garage sale. Doreen is having a tough time trying to get better prices for her stuff because she doesn't want to be too harsh, showing how much of a kind elder she is. But Banda and Chili mention how she needs to be a bit more reasonable instead of having the customers give the prices for her, especially because she's trying to make money to go on a holiday, which of course may require quite a bit of cash. Meanwhile, this is the first time Muffin gets to play grannies with Bluey and Bingo, and she plays the role as a grouchy granny called Granny Gladys. Though there is a time she wanted to change it, she decided to stay grouchy, which already suits her personality for her wild antics. And Muffin, as she plays grannies, is playing with Doreen's old scooter and is pretending to sell it. Then halfway through the episode, things change when a real grouchy granny appears and tries to buy it. Now, I mentioned there isn't a character I actually hate, but if you had to ask me my least favorite character, it definitely has to be this old grouchy pug. Unlike almost every other character who may be flawed, has a kind spirit to them. This granny has none of that whatsoever. She is rude, she insults everybody, she breaks things without a care in the world and doesn't even bother to pay for it, she hits people with her purse, and she makes fun of Bandit's weight, which he was generally hurt by, and this is why he had to exercise in another episode, which also gained controversy because people thought LUDO was trying to fat shame people, which I personally don't agree with. I don't think that was their intention at all. Seriously, Peppa Pig making fun of her dad's weight is okay, which she does in more than one episode, but this is redeemed offensive? Okay, whatever you say. Anyways, when the pug wants to buy the scooter, Doreen accepts the $100 she's offering, even though the sign literally says $300. But then Muffin proves that she can be super helpful as she refuses to get off the scooter till the old pug offers more money while continuing to stay in character. Seriously, when you get swindled by a toddler, you know you're in trouble. This alone shows why Muffin is one of the best characters in Bluey. She is so good at being chaotic, she uses her chaos to help out a person who needs money. If this doesn't tell you she's more than a brat, I don't know what will. As she manages to get $1,200 from this old pug. Seriously, she is the perfect toddler to help people out if they need money. This honestly combines the good and chaotic side of Muffin in one, while also showing while people don't want to make a fuss about going too high with their prices, but we may need to if we want to reach our goals. Muffin proves she's a funny, adorable, and kind-hearted character that shows she's not just another toddler who causes trouble. Besides, if she was to be more like Bluey or Bingo, she wouldn't nearly be as interesting. This is what gives her her personality. She's flawed for sure, but she's still very little, and isn't good at controlling herself yet. It's normal for a toddler to have this kind of behavior. She's not being abusive towards anyone, she's not breaking stuff, at least not on purpose, and she's able to listen to her parents once in a while, and even manages to be helpful. Her adorable voice and appearance is already enough for me to never stay mad at her, and this episode truly shows what makes Muffin who she is. I still consider her an icon when it comes to Bluey, and this episode alone is more than enough to show that she's one of the best, and surprisingly, one of Bluey's most important characters. I'm so happy that despite some hate, she still gets enough love from fans to get a good amount of merch off of her. I love how she's pretty much shown to be so iconic she's been put into more pieces of merch, like more plush toys, more clothing, and even one of those kids' juice top things. If you love her just as much as I do, let me know what your top 10 favorite episodes involving her are. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.